CBC, this is your chance to win big thanks to Save on Foods' $1 million touchdown win. If the kickoff is returned for a touchdown, you could win groceries for a year. If 2 kickoffs are returned for touchdowns in this game, you could also win $1 million. Good luck, Jocelyn. Let's get you to Montreal and join Glenn Suter and Dustin Nielsen.
Week 9 set to wrap up here in Montreal with a clash of Grey Cup contenders as the Riders pay a visit to the Alouettes for the first of 2 meetings this season. Montreal, the Grey Cup favorites at FanDuel right now. They've won 2 tight ones in a row. The Riders sit atop the West at 6-1, being led by their veteran quarterback right now.
Well, Trevor Harris has the accuracy in top 5 all time, and he's improving on that number in a big way this year, up around 76% in the completion percentage category. He is the most efficient quarterback in the league. MBT, McLeod Bethel-Thompson, got his first win as a starter here in Montreal versus Calgary last week. He continues to fill in for Davis Alexander, who's on the 6-game injured list, and 2 touchdown passes away from 100.
Jason Moss, so far this season, 2-1 at home, also 2-1 versus the West early in the year. Corey Mace lost both to Montreal last year, but is 3-0 on the road, 3-0 against the East this season. Montreal won the toss, deferred. The Riders will have the ball to start the game. A beautiful 26 degrees at kickoff. Winds around 30 kilometers an hour. Could gust up a little bit more, but we are ready to get things rolling. Jose Maltos Diaz boots it away, and we are underway in Montreal. On the return, Myers, far side. What a start. He'll take it to the 50, midfield, and juicy field position to start this game for Trevor Harris.
Well, in his career, he's over 70%, and that's in the top 5 in completion percentage. And he'll have, Trevor Harris, I'm saying, will have great field position after this return to get this first drive started on the road, completing 76% of his passes right now, and is throwing for almost 2,000 early in the campaign. 6-1, the Riders at this point in the season.
Dante Myers having a great year in the passing game, one of the go-to targets for Harris, chipping in early in the return game here as well. Harris wants to throw right off the bat for Johnson, off his mitts, and incomplete. Here's a look at the Saskatchewan offense.
Peyton Collins started at left tackle in that very first game of the season, then was gone and on the 6-game injured list. He's back, starting at left tackle out of Eastern Kentucky. Here's a receiving corps, but you look at the tailback position, and based on the roster
15-yard misconduct penalty. Montreal number 2.
Ooh.
Automatic first down.
That's had to happen way after the whistle. But a good run game tonight may wear down that defensive line for the Montreal Alouettes.
The member of that defensive line that just got the penalty, Sean Oakman, a 15-yarder early in the game. And the Riders all of a sudden inside the Montreal 40. Jason Moss, no surprise, he's furious. He's not happy with that start to the game for the home side. The 1st and 10 from the Montreal 39. 3 receivers wide side right here for Harris. A.J. Ouellette, low snap. Harris picks it up, gets it to Ouellette, who lowers the shoulders, pushes it ahead. And we'll get some positive yardage on first down against his Montreal D.
Well, they get Sean Lemon back. He has gone through his suspension for gambling. That was a whole year. Taking him back to the time in Calgary with the Stampeders, and a 2-game suspension, and juggling in the back end now. You've got Arthur Hamlin playing that cover linebacker. Deontay Ruffin will go out to corner, and that means Robert Kennedy, who was lined up at the cover linebacker to start the game, is now going to move back and play in the secondary halfback.
And so a game time decision could not go. 2nd and 8 for Harris. Gets this one away. Robustelli has it. He's going to be short of a first down, but not by much. And Tommy Stevens wasting no time. He's ready to run in here and keep this drive alive for the Riders.
think this is going to be an interesting matchup on that short side of the field. Robustelli, who had the big game against the Calgary Stampeders 3 weeks ago, hasn't had as many targets in the last 2 weeks. You think that Trevor Harris may lean on him tonight?
I mentioned Hamlin getting the start linebacker. It's his first career start. 29th overall pick in the 24 draft. Here's Stevens. Going to push it ahead. That's enough. And that'll be a first down for the Riders.
Yeah, so Kabianento, as you mentioned, is out of the lineup. He was a game day decision, so just about a half an hour before we kicked it off, we were told that Ento couldn't go. So the juggling was Arthur Hamlin, who was the backup DB. He goes to the cover linebacker spot. Robert Kennedy moves back to halfback, and Deontay Ruffin kicks out to corner.
Well said, Zeus. You laid it out nicely. Ruffin last year had 5 interceptions. Doesn't have one yet this year. He's at the bottom of your screen right there working against Dante Myers. First and 10 from the 29 for Harris. How about an end zone shot? No! Incomplete. Just a bit too much for Robustelli. Second down.
Yeah, you get that feeling that Robustelli was going to be important to Trevor Harris with the injuries they have in the receiving core. He's the wide out in the short side. A little bit of an outside fake, and he is over the top and open. Trevor Harris with that great completion percentage just misses him.
Piece of the fingertips, nothing more. Harris likely to throw again. Alouettes send 4. Harris near side. Robustelli has it. Takes it down to the 20. This is going to be Tommy Stevens territory again for the visitors.
Yeah, there's no question. Tommy Stevens come in. It looks like it's a yard to go. Robustelli just missed. They go right back to him. Short side is the opposite side of the field this time. He gets it right to the marker.
Top 2 teams in the league in time of possession. So we shouldn't be surprised by the Riders putting together a 4-minute-plus drive already here early in the game.
That is a full yard.
Are you questioning the decision?
No, not questioning the decision, but it's a full yard. Tommy Stevens going to need to get it all.
Can he find a yard here? Tommy Stevens, a yard and more down inside the 15. Never in doubt with Big Tommy.
Well, it's less of a gamble with Tommy Stevens when you think of him at 6'4", 250 pounds. This is a gamble. When you're in short yardage and the quarterback shuffles right or left to find a hole outside of that A-gap, which is between center and guard, when you do that, it's a gamble. Because any kind of penetration will end that type of move by the quarterback, but not really with Tommy Stevens. He just shuffles over, gets that 250 going downhill, and he gets 3 or 4.
Saskatchewan 55% inside the red zone this year, 11 for 20. A.J. Alouette up the middle. Great run, takes it down inside the 10. I'd like to welcome everybody joining us after catching the end of the Hamilton-Edmonton game. The Ticats come away with a tight 28-24 win. We are still scoreless here in Montreal. This is the first drive of the game, and the Riders, they're knocking on the door. 2nd and 4. Ouellette moves over to the left of Harris. Harris is going to look to his right, has Ouellette wide open, far side, finds him, cuts it back, looking for the end zone, denied. Knocking on the door, but driven back was A.J. Ouellette. And once again, Tommy Stevens is going to trot back out onto the field.
Trevor Harris here goes through his progressions. He was looking to his right away from A.J. Ouellette. A.J. Ouellette is that, he's the check down coming out of the backfield. But Trevor Harris went through 1, 2, 3, and then came back to the check down, and that Montreal defense going to make him work for every yard.
Hamlin with the tackle. Stevens into the game for the 3rd time today. Had Has 2 rushing touchdowns on the season. Looking for a third, pushing in, touchdown Riders. Tommy Stevens finishes the job, and the Riders go on top.
Excellent opening drive for the visitors. Hostile territory, always tough in Montreal when you're flying all the way east and losing the 2 hours of time zone. And as Kate mentioned off the top of the show, they haven't won here since 21. When Trevor Harris was the Montreal
they beat Harris.
Montreal quarterback.
3rd touchdown of the year for Stevens. Brett Lawther for a 7-point lead. A bit of a statement drive from the Riders early in this one. Great field position after a nice return from Dante Myers. They go 10 plays, 54 yards, just under 7 minutes for the lead.
What a start for the visitors. Got good field position by Dante Myers on the return. That set up a great opening drive for Trevor Harris, who really took what the Alouettes gave them on defense. Couple of checkdowns, couple of throws, one to Robustelli. Missed on a deep shot. Check down here to A.J. Ouellette. It was a 10-play drive, though, almost 7 minutes, where the Montreal offense hasn't even gone on the field yet, and they're down 7-0.
Harris 3 of 4 on that drive. 22 yards. Lawther kicks it away. Tyjon Lindsay takes it just outside the 10. Is stopped at the Montreal 34. So halfway through this opening quarter, we will finally see MBT when we return to Montreal. 4th start of the season for McLeod Bethel-Thompson for the Alouettes. Picked up his first win last week.
Well, and it was a big one he really wanted after going 0-2 in the first 2 starts with Davis Alexander out. Game against BC, 1 game against Hamilton, lost both of those, and really wanted this win for his head coach, for his team. Confidence in McLeod Bethel-Thompson behind center. Had a great game against the Calgary team at the time. Had beaten Saskatchewan and Winnipeg twice going into that game.
Threw the ball 40 times against a pretty good Calgary defense. They're going to start it on the ground here. Sean Thomas Erlington, 4th in the league in rushing yards. Spins it ahead just outside the 40.
Had 1 touchdown throw in that game against Calgary. So now just needs 2 more to get to 100 in his career in the Canadian Football League.
67.
More important to him to get the W, but it is a significant accomplishment.
Trying to keep pace with the Ticats. Picked up another victory today. 7 yards on the ground. Back there again. Breaking the tackle, finding the yardage needed for a first down is Thomas Erlington.
Not surprised that Jason Moss comes out with a run game to just try to settle down that defensive line for the Saskatchewan Roughriders that last week versus Calgary had 8 sacks. 3 of those defensive linemen had a pair. Micah Johnson, Shane Ray, and Malik Carney.
A.J. Allen and Revis with the others. MBT far side finds Sneed. Stiff arm on Sales, but forced out of bounds anyway. Here's a look at the Alouettes offense.
Left tackle Nick Callender, 3rd straight start for him on McLeod Bethel-Thompson's blind side. Go to the receiving core. Big game last week by Tyler Sneed, and newcomer but not new to the game, not new to the league. That's Alexander Hollins, former BC Lion. Gets his first start as an Alouette tonight.
More on Hollins coming up later in the quarter. MBT under pressure, dumps it off. And that is incomplete. There's that defensive line we were talking about in the face of the Alouettes quarterback, forcing a quick throw and an incompletion in the direction of his running back.
Yeah, no fancy blitz here, just a straight pass rush with 4. But you see that little game on the outside. Shane Ray goes inside, and Mike Rose swings around to the outside, collapse the pocket.
Zima from just outside his own 35 hangs this one up there. That's taken by McCray just inside the 15. 48-yard kick. Returned just shy of the 25. Trevor Harris gets the ball back, controlled it for almost 7 minutes. The first time they had it, and they lead 7-0. Welcome back to Montreal. It wasn't a bad start to the season for Trevor Harris, but how good has he been since returning to the lineup?
Well, that completion percentage just getting silly. I mean, that is like crazy good at almost 80%, and a touchdown to interception ratio 6-1 in the last 3 games. He's just improving on these already huge numbers.
Starts here on his own 24. Takes the handoff to Alouettes. Dumps it off looking for Johnson. And a nice catch by Keyshawn Johnson. Had to turn around a bit, but he hauls it in.
Little play action fake here. Holds the D-line temporarily and gives Trevor Harris lots of time to set in there, find his passing lane, and yeah, you're right. Keyshawn Johnson had to come back shoulder almost.
Lorenzo Burns on the tackle for the Alouettes. Montreal loading up that defensive line here. Harris wants to throw again. Gets it away near side. Waiting for it and hauling it in is Myers, working against Deontay Ruffin. Back-to-back first downs for Saskatchewan.
Well, I would test the wide side. You know, if you're Trevor Harris and his offense, you want to test this juggling that's been going on with Kabion Ento out, who is having an all-star start to the season at corner. Now you bump out Ruffin, who's taken all the reps at halfback all week. Now he's playing the wide corner, and Robert Kennedy in at halfback. So I would test it.
15 yards to Myers. 1st and 10 Riders from their own 54. Screen, Robustelli. Can he find a block? He stumbles back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe a very short gain, but not much.
Real easy pre-snap read, though, for Trevor Harris, because when he brought a receiver from the left side of the formation over to the right, the defensive back, this time Robert Kennedy, the halfback, followed him over. Once he follows him over, Trevor Harris says, okay, that's man-to-man. He wouldn't go over there like that if it wasn't man-to-man. He'd stay back on the backside.
Paul Thorpe, defensive coordinator for a pretty good defense. The Alouettes so far this season.
Number 1 ranked.
2nd and long for Harris. Near side, a little bit of a slip for Robustelli coming back to it. But Lorenzo Burns is there to break it up.
Yeah, that's the Burns, Lorenzo Burns, Wesley Sutton side. And he did stumble. And if he doesn't stumble, this is an out where both players, Robustelli and Burns, with a little stumble. But if Burns doesn't, he's going the other way with it. He knows it. He just stumbled a little bit, was still there in time to knock it down. PBU for Lorenzo Burns.
Couch first time today. Hangs it up there. Lindsay takes it cleanly at the 10, a 45-yard kick. Picks his way up the near sideline on the return. We will have more on Alexander Hollins making his Alouettes debut when we return. Well, just a couple of years ago, Hollins was a West All-Star with the BC Lions, was in camp with Edmonton to start the year. Now he's an Alouette. For more on that, let's send it down to Kenzie Lalonde.
Yeah, that's it. Hollins had his bags packed and was was ready to head home when assistant general manager PY of the Montreal Alouettes called him the day before his flight was supposed to take off to discuss an opportunity. As you mentioned, released from BC, released then from Edmonton camp where he dealt with a calf strain. Stayed in Edmonton for about a month or so when he was figuring out what his options would be. When Montreal called, he said it was a no-brainer. He talked about the experience he brings in. When I asked him about that 2023 season, what it was about his game that allowed him to elevate, said it was all about taking the deep routes, making sure first downs were happening, and engaging in some competitive banter with the opponents. Holland said he's looking forward to bringing his explosiveness and his experience to Montreal.
Explosiveness is something he's got for sure.
No question. Could take the top off a defense in a heartbeat.
I'd say one of the best deep threats in the league in 2023. Down the field right here. Holland's flag on the play. Working against Campbell. But that flag sits at the 44. That was great timing. As we were talking about Holland as a deep threat.
Saskatchewan, number 26. Spot of the foul. Automatic. First down.
Watch the great route running here. Yeah, and it was the intended target. Little stop and go, like he's going to curl. And then he takes off and goes deep. Gets in behind. Little pass interference was as good as the catch. And there's the example of Alexander Holland's able to take the top off the former All-Star, 1,000-yard receiver in BC a couple years ago. And the other
replay
thing,
center has moved the spot of the foul to the 36-yard line.
I'm not sure why that didn't get upgraded to pass interference if he was the intended target.
So they've moved it back. It'll end up being 15 yards. So it's going to be 23. They back it up 8 yards here.
Well, they're saying that's exactly where the pass interference occurred.
Another quick hitter. Sneed. Popped up, held on to the ball against this Riders defense.
8 sacks for this group up front. Micah Johnson got a pair. So did Shane Ray, as I mentioned, and Malik Carney. There's one of the great run stoppers in the game, and Jameer Thurman. 2 real good linebackers, middle linebackers in this game, and Darnell Sankey and Thurman. And I'm going to look at this strong side, the boundary side of the defensive secondary for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Milligan and Sales out there against Rambo and Sneed.
Sales with 5 knockdowns this season, tied for second in the league. Has an interception as well. Milligan, 2 interceptions, 3 knockdowns. MBT bouncing around the pocket. Dumps it off to his running back. Nowhere to go, and once again, Montreal will be forced to kick it away.
Corey Mays has a rotation on his D-line. He's got 8 D-linemen dressed for this game tonight. He gets pressure with just 4, and he forces quarterbacks to check it down, and those linebackers that are facing MBT now, facing McLeod, Bethel, Thompson, because of their zone drops, can just rally to those underneath throws and make the tackle.
Into the waiting hands of McCray on the far sideline, and he is forced out. It's been a great start to the season for the Riders. What about their mindset? Here's their head coach, Corey Mace.
Ultimately, you know, confidence is something everybody can talk and say that they can do something until things get hard, and then confidence kind of wanes, where conviction, you know what it is, and you know the answers. So confidence kind of waits to get knocked down, where conviction fights back. So we're trying to go on conviction instead of confidence.
Absolutely love that way of thinking. Confidence can wane. It can be up and down depending on what happens in the game. You know, a turnover, something like that can turn it, and then self-doubt creeps in. But when your conviction is there, when you believe, when we asked and talked to Micah Johnson this week, he quoted his head coach almost exactly how you just heard it. They're believing.
The message has been sent, hasn't it?
No question.
And they are buying in. Misconduct penalty here against Montreal's long snapper. And that'll move the ball up. Riders 43. Far side, that is batted down. Looking for Keyshawn Johnson. But a nice play by Wesley Sutton, his 6th knockdown of the year.
Yeah, that's twice now. Trevor Harris has gone over there to test Lorenzo Burns and Wesley Sutton's side of the field. And there's 2 knockdowns for the defensive secondary. Pass is broken up. That's a great tip. Right at the right time. If he's Robert Carter for the Lions, he's catching that.
Hangs on to that one, doesn't he? 2nd and 10 for Harris. He's in trouble, and he is taken down. There's a flag right at the end of it. Oakman celebrating. We'll see what this flag is.
Just wonder if Oakman got Trevor Harris across the top of the helmet.
There's no flag on the play.
Well, let's take a look, and you be the judge. There's Oakman in his 3-point stance. He does, I believe, hit the top of the helmet, but he's going by when he does it. And they don't deem that enough to be roughing the passer.
Thumbs up from Jason Moss. No surprise. 2-0 for the Riders. Look at this kick. A boomer all the way down. Bobbled. Then gobbled up by Lindsay. DeMarcus Fields, though, takes advantage of that extra second on a 62-yard kick. And he wraps up the returner, Tyjon Lindsay.
Well, that was a booming kick. I mean, that was almost the length of the field. Came down hard. He juggled it around a little bit. James Letcher is out of the lineup, has been for a couple of games. Lincoln Victor played their last game for Montreal.
Tough to find someone to fill the shoes of Letcher.
I don't think you can.
Clock ticks down here at the end of the opening quarter. Tyson the game at running back. They'll give it to him. Cuts it to his left. Finds a hole. And a nice run to wrap up the opening 15 here in Montreal. The Alouettes at home, trailing by 7 to Trevor Harris. And the Riders, a Tommy Stevens short yardage touchdown. The difference in this one so far. Second quarter action coming up. Riders leading the Alouettes 7-0. And Suits, one thing that really jumps off the page here, time of possession so far in favor of the visitors.
Yeah, these two teams very good in that category coming into this game tonight. Saskatchewan won the first quarter in it. And you look at the passing yards, just 9 for McLeod Bethel Thompson. So this Rider defense had a great quarter.
Yeah, we'll see if MBT can get things going here offensively. A nice run by Tice to end the opening quarter. Not a team that heavily runs the ball. MBT will be throwing here. Down the field. Tried to drop it in there for Speaker. But Campbell came across to cause all types of issues.
Tavon Campbell has breakaway speed, top end speed. He can close very quickly, even if it looks like it's an open receiver. Speaker with a post here, right down the hash mark, looks like he is open. And Tavon Campbell just makes up that 5-6 yards, closes in the split second, knocks the ball down. He can fly.
McCray stands just outside his own 35. Possibility of good field position looming here for the Riders. Zima gonna force McCray back a bit. Takes it at the 30 with a bobble. Picks it up. In trouble, trying to escape. Can he find a way out? No, taken down at the 30. Bit of a mad scramble there for Dre McCray. Trevor Harris about to step back on the field here. Player of the month in July.
Well, I mentioned, there's been some great quarterback play this year. You think of Bo Levi Mitchell, who was the game before us, and other quarterbacks playing. And Trevor Harris is the most efficient quarterback in the league. Now, quarterback efficiency rating is based on a whole bunch of stats, and we would take at least till halftime trying to explain.
Let's just be honest, nobody knows.
No one, exactly, but he is the most efficient quarterback in the league coming in. 6 and 9 tonight for 53 yards.
They'll give it to Alouette, trying to find some room on the outside. And he is tracked down. Ruffin and Sankey there to make sure he didn't do any more damage.
That's what I mean about two real good run-stopping linebackers in this game. Jameer Thurman for Saskatchewan. Darnell Sankey, a former Rider, briefly, who will go sideline to sideline. Those guys are bangers and tremendous run stoppers from tackle to tackle, or if you bounce it, they'll catch you on the sideline.
Second and 7. Harris gets it away. Going to be spotted just short of a first down. He goes back to Rubistelli. Burns has been all over him tonight.
It's a yard, though, so that's Tommy Stevens' zone. I don't think there's any decision to be made when it's. I wonder if they're inside their own 20 and they're 3rd and 1. If Corey Mace would just say, "Hey, our guy can't be stopped, so we're going to go with it."
He's already 3 for 3.
Well, I don't think he's been stopped all year.
No, there was one. I remember it. I was stunned by it.
Okay, good one.
Yeah, one. Might have been on the second down. They're pushing it big here. That's a great tackle, but they do say he got enough. Forward progress, first down.
That's what I mean about the shuffle. When you take the shuffle in short yardage as a quarterback, and you take that shuffle, you're allowing the middle linebacker to react. And I believe it's Darnell Sankey, right in the hole. He steps up along with Canton Arcou, and he gets it, but only just.
Saskatchewan from their own 42-yard line. 2 options to the right, 2 to the left for Harris. Looks to the left, wants to throw in that direction. He does, times it perfectly, and drops it in there nicely. Tommy Neal hauls it in.
Former Toronto Argo gets a chance to play because Sam Emelis is not available due to injury. So inside position from Robert Kennedy. Again, talked about the shuffle. He played that nickel spot in practice all week. That's where he's been the last few weeks, up at the nickel. And all of a sudden tonight, he's playing halfback. He had inside position, and Neal ran that corner very nicely.
First catch is a member of the Riders for the McMaster graduate, Tommy Neal. All the way up to the Montreal 42. Multiple flags find the secondary as they hand this off to A.J. Alouette. Montreal with an extra body on the field.
Montreal, I think, has a few more penalties tonight than Saskatchewan, which is completely
too many
opposite.
players. Montreal, 10-yard penalty. The result will be a first down.
That's completely opposite as to what the stats have said to this point in the season. Montreal Alouettes, one of the top teams in the league in the penalty department. In fact, finished 2nd so far coming in at just 56 yards a game. The Riders at the other end of that scale are 9th at almost 90 yards a game, but it hasn't unfolded like that early in this first half. Montreal has more penalties.
Harris back to Alouette again. Pretty good sized hole on the left side of the line, and he takes it down inside the 30.
So, in a roster configuration here for Jason Maas, he's going with 5 defensive linemen, 2 of which are back in the lineup for the first time in a little bit of time. Dylan Wynn coming off injury. He's back in the inside. Sean Lemon, who we talked about coming off that suspension, he hasn't played in over 400 days.
Yeah.
And 3 of the 4 starters are over 30 years old. So, you know, you wear that group down with a run game in the fourth quarter. Trevor Harris may have all day in the pocket.
Alouettes 16 yards on 4 carries so far. Harris. Keyshawn Johnson spins it back inside the 20. He's got a first down for the Riders and takes it down inside the 15 with his second catch of the ball game.
Yeah, so quick hitter here, and you know, if they do get tired, that Montreal D line, they'll have to go to exotic blitzes. That's what happened on this play. Trevor Harris saw it and got it out there. So Corey Mace has a completely different philosophy when it comes to his defensive line. He's dressed 9, and they rotate through. Baldonado, Benoit Marion, they rotate through the starting lineup, keep it fresh.
Back in the red zone, second time today for Saskatchewan. Found a touchdown the first time. Harris looking for another one here. Batted down. Great defense. Deontay Ruffin getting in front of Dante Myers.
Well, you know, I know it's more complicated than I'm going to make it right now, because Trevor Harris is going to go through his progressions, look at the defense, take his reads, and then determine where he wants to throw the ball. He's one of the best in the business at it. But every time he's gone over there to Lorenzo Burns and Wesley Sutton's side, he's struggled. That was the first time he went over that Deontay Ruffin got involved and actually got his hand on it. I'd still say on that wide side.
Montreal sends for Harris down the middle, end zone, touchdown! Welcome to the Riders, Tommy Neal.
How about that? How about Jamarcus Hardrick saying, welcome to the team. Welcome to contributing. Hardrick out there taking his guy off the edge, giving his quarterback lots of time to stand in and throw a dart over the middle to Neal. First catch and first touchdown in the same drive as a Saskatchewan Roughrider.
We talked about the depth at this position for the Riders most of the season. Emilus has been in and out. Schaefer Baker hasn't been around. They've been waiting for Bain, and others just continue to step up. Lothar makes it a bit interesting, but knocks it inside the left upright. It's a 9-play, 79-yard drive that ends in the hands of Tommy Neal. First as a Rider.
There's the intended target. Take a look at the veteran quarterback, how he looks off coverage. This is Trevor Harris at his best, looking way over here to freeze any defensive back on the backside, thinking, no, he's going to the wide field. Whoop, he flips his hips right back over the middle to Tommy Neal. Great touchdown throw, but that look off, it may seem like a small thing, but DBs are trained like that. You see the quarterback looking one way, you start to freeze or slide over that direction, and he goes backside.
Harris, 10 of 14, 112 yards, and that touchdown. Lindsay on the return, solid one, spins it just outside the 40. Trevor Harris, another target at his disposal, finds him. Well, it's the highly anticipated new series based on the best-selling novel, The Rainmaker. Starts Saturday, August 16th on USA Network. And, of course, you can stream it the next day on Crave.
Big fan of the Courtroom Battle show. So
you like those,
I have a feeling that might have some of that in there.
Thompson trying to find something with this offense. They'll throw in the rookie running back, Tice, who's actually averaging 5.6 yards per carry this year, but nowhere to go against a run-stopping Riders defense.
Well, they're number one against the run on defense, and with McLeod Bethel-Thompson playing, unlike Davis Alexander, I'm not sure for those defenders in the front seven that there's much urgency to worry about the outside and him taking the ball and running it. They're going to stay locked in on the running back.
Looking to throw here. Gets it away. Finds Steed. Made a man miss. Trying to escape. But they will hang on and gang tackle him on the Riders' side of the
And this is what McLeod Bethel Thompson does well. He's a timing thrower. He understands, like Trevor, he understands defenses, so he knows where to throw to the spot, and if he can take that last step in his drop and get rid of it immediately as soon as that curl happens, he can move the football. He can make all the throws.
Snead pushing hard, just 5'8", 180 pounds, but tough to bring down there. Now from the 51. Dumps it off. Tice one-hands it. Spins, bounces back up. No whistle yet. And then now a whistle as he's taken down just outside the 50.
On the first spin, I'm not sure he was touched, because he spun and then went down on his own. And I think he got up, and I'm not sure if they marked it with a couple extra. No, they didn't give him the extra. I'm not sure he was touched there by A.J. Allen. And then when he was touched, he was up again.
Took a loss
yards
on it. Yeah, he did take a loss on it.
He didn't get any of those yards.
Just 23 passing yards from MBT so far. A bobble. Pressure finds Speaker. Speaker will be stopped short of the first down.
That's called a miscue. It's a timing issue. The former quarterback knows it. Just everybody moving and nobody ready, and
All right, this is another deep one. Jose Maltos Diaz from 58 last week, franchise record that had stood up for almost 60 years. This one will be from 56. Zima to hold. This one would have broken the previous franchise record. That is up. It is through. Got it. Right down the gut. Another deep shot from Maltos Diaz. And he does it again. Brilliant stuff. Trevor Harris, McLeod Bethel Thompson going head-to-head tonight, but they met a long time ago. For more on that, let's send it back down to Kenzie.
Yes, Trevor Harris remembers the exact date he saw McLeod Bethel Thompson throw a ball. We'll turn back the clock here. It was 2011 in the Arena League. The two were on opposing teams at the time, and Harris was wondering if he had the skill and the ability to be a pro quarterback. So he opted to watch other quarterbacks in the league at the time. Had his eyes on McLeod Bethel Thompson one afternoon. And the way he described the first throw he ever saw, he said that ball wouldn't get wet in a car wash. That's how powerful and accurate he was. The two would go on to be teammates in the UFL, the Sacramento Lion Kings. They learned a lot from each other over the years.
Two veteran quarterbacks in this league now. Funny, going back to 2011. Down the sideline, finding Myers. Myers to the 20, and he's pushed out of bounds. Touchdown saver from Hamlin. Big shot from Harris to Myers.
with the juggling in the secondary, this is what Trevor Harris is doing. He's going double move outside, a little play action to hold the pass rush for just a split second. That's all he needed with Myers in the double move on Ruffin. And that's Hamlin just hustling from his nickel spot to try and help out. He was in deep middle coverage, and he's just trying to catch him before he scores. But Myers gets Ruffin on the double move.
58 yards to Dante Myers. Riders in business again. Leading 14-3. Looking for more. A.J. Alouette takes the ball up the middle, down to the 6-yard line.
So Marc-Antoine Dequoy was not back at the safety spot. He apparently, according to Ken's, is out for the rest of the game. So injured in the last defensive series for the Alouettes, and that's why you saw Arthur Hamlin back there at the safety spot trying to stop that tackle. So there's Antoine Dequoy. He's done for the night. That's a big hit for this secondary, especially with all the juggling they're doing. The safety's got to keep it all together.
Huge loss. 2nd and 4. They'll hand it off. It's Anderson Anderson down inside the 10. Won't be enough for a first down. Tommy Stevens into the game again. This is a couple of yards this time. You push it ahead with him again, or is this the time
you pull it,
takes it back
and takes a shot? And you got, look at the big man, and Micah Johnson in there is going to play offensive tight end.
Micah Johnson into the game. Tommy Stevens, 3rd and 2. Will he take it? Trying to draw him off. Did not work. All that excitement for nothing.
Yeah, they got the big team in there. Try to draw him offside. Didn't work.
Time count violation. Saskatchewan number 17. 5-yard penalty. Be 3rd down. We're going to go to the 3-minute warning.
So the Riders take the field goal.
Short field goal attempt for Brett Lother coming up here in Montreal.
Coming up at the half, we're going to give so much love to Trevor Harris because he has been...
Il est en train de chauffer, Kay. Il est en train de chauffer à Montréal.
Oui, not we. Also, all the highlights from week number 9. We hear from Bo Levi Mitchell, too.
You know any French there?
Oh,
Un petit peu?
Oh,
Ah, I knew that!
What you got, Bill?
Oui, oui.
Bonjour, comment ça va?
Salut. I used that in
the
French
bar?
class for 3 years. I think it means both hello and goodbye.
I thought you said it was salute like it's on the bar.
Could be a very confusing halftime pass coming up. 17-yard attempt for Lother to restore a 14-point cushion on the road for the Green and Whites. It's up. And it is through. Chip shot complete for Lother. No Davis Alexander. There he is on the sideline, but it was a year ago against the Riders when he kind of popped onto the scene.
Well, this started the journey, and the journey is he's gone 8-0 as the starter after this game, getting the playing time and showing what he could do both with his arm and with his legs, and leading this offense, and sitting at 8-0 right now as a starter. Talking about record-breaking start to a career as a starting quarterback, and put him on the 6-game injured list. They can take him off early. However, Jason Moss is not putting a timeline on him.
His veteran back up on the run to his right, trying to find someone, and it's incomplete. It was his running back, Thomas Erlington, and he could not pump the brakes enough to haul it in.
So Moss has said that with a couple of his guys, you know, you would say this with anyone, but with Tyson Philpott and with Davis Alexander, he is going to not put a timeline on it. We're talking about hamstring muscle pulls, so we're looking at just, he was saying to us this week, when they're ready, I'd rather have them in the back half of the season when we need them to accomplish what we want to accomplish.
Some zip on that one into the hands of Sneed, who's really been the only bright spot in this offense so far. He's got 4 catches. The rest of the group combined has 3.
Well, and he leads his team in those money catches, I call them, which is that second down conversion catch. And that was a tough one. He had to fight with that one a little bit, but hung on, moved the chains.
Back on the ground, nowhere to go, maybe 3 yards for Thomas Erlington. This is a team that moves the ball around quite a bit. Both of these guys, Sneed and Speaker, with big games recently.
Yeah, and you know, when you're watching the game, they almost look identical, but they are very different. One is 5'7", 175, and Tyler Sneed. The other, Cole Speaker, is 6'2", 217. So very different sort of style of players. And when we talked to Tyler Sneed, he talked about Ben Cahoon as a guy that he's been looking at a ton.
Bethel Thompson looking to throw again, and is that intercepted? continues to cause nightmares for Montreal and McLeod-Bethel-Thompson.
Watch the feet of Jameer Thurman here as he fools McLeod-Bethel-Thompson as he opens up looking like he's going to sit on that and then breaks across his face to make the catch. Sibasu's got to come back to the football first of all, but Jameer Thurman just kind of chopped his feet, made McLeod-Bethel-Thompson think he was opening up and just stood there.
A few boo birds out already here in Montreal. Interception for McLeod-Bethel-Thompson, his 4th of the season. 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions for MBT at the helm of this Montreal offense this season. There he is, Trevor Harris back out there looking for more. Finds Dante Myers up to the 50 with just under 2 minutes on the clock here in the half.
You know, and as I suspected, with just 5 defensive linemen dressed for Montreal, fatigue, especially the time of possession, when you look at how lopsided it is in this first half, that defense been out there a lot. Trevor Harris went through 1, 2, 3 and went back to the backside to number 4 in his read progression to make that completion. He stood back there all day.
Dominating time of possession for the Riders thus far. Need 3 more yards here. Harris gets it away behind Duncan Busby. Could not haul it in. And they will likely kick it away late the half.
So Tyrese Beverett, he's going to have to blitz more. You're going to see Darnell Sankey probably blitz more. If that D-line gets tired, then you're going to see linebackers add in. Beverett's coming up to the line of scrimmage, and that's why Trevor Harris tried to get that out of there quickly. By the way, Tyrese Beverett's having a great season, and it just seems to me we're not talking about him as much as we normally do. You look at his stat line, it's outstanding.
It's because you expect that from him.
Well, right? let's not get comfortable and take for granted excellence, because he's one of the best in the league.
Low driving kick from Couch. Bounces at the 5 into the end zone. Lindsay will take the knee, concede the points. The FedEx St. Jude Championship is right around the corner. Catch first round on Thursday, 8 a.m. Eastern, 5 a.m. Pacific on TSN+. Great evening here, though. Beautiful Saturday. Great crowd as well. They're not overly impressed with the Alouettes so far, but long way to go. A team that's found a way to win some close ones. 7 of 11 for just 45 yards. That one through the hands of Sibasu from McLeod-Bethel-Thompson, working against Campbell on that near sideline.
Well, be careful with Devon Campbell on the wide side, throwing that out. You know, and this is a timing quarterback, so he understands that. It's a long throw. You got to get it out there in time. Campbell has taken 1 to the house already, over an 80-yard pick 6.
Sibasu, a couple of catches last week for 41 yards. Unable to haul that one in. Riders send 4. Big hit. Speaker held on to it, too, after contact. Be about a yard short with 1:16 on the clock.
Speaker is the motion receiver, the waggle towards the line of scrimmage. Rambo's coming in. Not quite change motion, but just going to sit down in the curl, and Marcus Sales jumps it. He has no deep threat to hold him back there. Rambo was an intermediate route as well, so Marcus Sales said, if you're not going to send anyone deep to take me in my zone back, I'm jumping this.
Got an injured Alouette offensive lineman, Justin Lawrence, in pain on the field just inside the 35. Looks like they are working on his left leg. He is their center, so he'll immediately go to work.
I believe it was Caleb Sanders in the rotation. There's a bull rush right back into with Lawrence. And that's number 92 right there, Caleb Sanders. And Lawrence is the center, so he's the guy snapping it. And then he picks up that block. And does someone on the inside roll in his leg, or grabs that knee immediately? Baldonado in there as well. That's the strategy for Corey Mace, is to rotate those D linemen in.
And the good news is he is up, but you can tell not much pressure going to be put on the left leg of Justin Lawrence, 7-year man out of the University of Alberta. And he actually co-hosted our afternoon show on
nice.
Edmonton Sports Talk during the winter. Great guy. He's a great guy. Absolutely wonderful guy. Hate to see him be carried off like this. Ogun Sadan in his first year with Montreal. Take over at center for this offensive line. 11th overall pick in the 2022 draft. Something to monitor moving forward. Has to start right away here with Evans in the game on 3rd and 1 on the Montreal 49. Evans looking for a yard. Great push. Held on to the ball. First down, Alouettes, with just over a minute to work. Can they find some points before the end of the half here?
Well, with Maltos Diaz, they only need about 10 more yards. They can kick another field goal.
True. The wind looks like it has died down here as well. Flags in both end zones, essentially not moving.
You know it's a long kick when the kicker is lined up on the other side of center. The center line strike. That one. And that's where Maltos Diaz was on his last kick that he made.
That kick that he hit last week, I think on the broadcast I said it might have been good from 65, but I think I sold it short. That one might have been good from 70. It was deep. Thompson flushed out of the pocket on the run to his right down the field, just throwing that one away with the pressure in his face. Here's a look back at the big leg
for the win.
Maltos Diaz for the win. 58-yarder in Calgary.
And look how deep that ended up landing. And we thought about probably 65. I don't know if Jason Moss would send him out there at that leg, but
not even
the leg to do it.
Not even the longest field goal I've called at that stadium. When I was doing university football, a young kicker by the name of Nico DeFonte in a blizzard hit a game winner from 59, which was insane. MBT thought about a deep shot. There's a flag on the field. He almost threw another pick. Milligan was in the vicinity.
I think a Montreal receiver was offside.
Offside. Montreal number 85. That penalty be declined. 3rd down.
So they'll be forced to
they're
take it away.
They're only 2 or 3 yards out of field goal range. So this would be 7 yards from where the ball is marked there. A 65-yarder. And Jason Moss thinks, okay, that's
Let's see
a little beyond. That's a little beyond. That's great, though. You can make a 60-yard kick, 58-yard kick with the game on the line. That changes everything, too.
Punches they come. Last 2 wins for Montreal. They're winning points both in the final 2 minutes of games. Zima just got that away. McRae takes it. There's a flag back near midfield after a 48-yard kick into the hands of Dre McRae, who's been held in check so far in this one. Trevor Harris about to get the ball back. 12 of 17, 177 yards. Touchdown. He's looked after it as well. No interceptions.
There's a flag here. I think it's against Montreal. I'm not sure what Corey Mace is getting the options there. If there's a possibility for a re-kick here.
Illegal interference, Montreal number 39. Be a 10-yard penalty, first down.
So it's after the fact, so it's not a re-kick. I'm sure Trevor Harris on the road in Montreal, the good crowd here, hostile territory with an 18-3 lead. Well,
I hope you're about to say, take a deep shot to Dante Myers.
no, I wasn't going to say that. He might.
We'll take it. That'd be all right. That's what we expect. On the ground, up the middle. It's been a long day. The delay out west earlier, but the energy will be there at the half.
Boy, that Western game looked great, though, in Edmonton. I mean, it was back and forth, lots of scoring. Hamilton comes out with that last drive to win it. Panel break it all down this first half. Talking about Trevor Harris. Another 300-yard game for Bo Levi Mitchell, and that streak continues. He passed Doug Clooney.
Harris is on his way to 300 as well. They'll hand it off to Alouette in second down. There's a flag at the tail end of the play. The Riders have not lost this season when leading at the half. And they will be in that position in 8 seconds.
There's no flag on the play.
No flag on the play.
You read lips too,
I was
eh?
gonna read
Yeah, so did I also. I didn't know I could do that.
Yeah.
We'll see what Jason Moss and the Montreal offense can dial up here in the second half. It's all about adjustments. We say that all the time, right?
And a couple of times this year, the Alouettes have come back from big deficits, double-digit deficits. One 11 points, the other 18 points, and came back.
The Alouettes are 2-1 this year when they trail going into the fourth quarter. So long way to go in this one. Montreal has been in this position before. And can the Riders put one away and not let the other team hang around a little bit? I know a lot of Riders fans get concerned about that from time to time. Special first half for Tommy Neal, wasn't it?
Touchdown, his first catch as a Rider on the same drive, and then it finished. That drive was finished with that touchdown, and he's with Kenzie right now.
Well, Tommy had a chance to speak with their head coach, Corey Mace, this week. And when it came to the difference of this game, he said it was going to come down to time of possession, penalties, and turnovers. Your team is very much winning in all of those categories. What can you say about the first efforts of this week?
Yeah, that's a goal every week. Just play a clean game as much as we can, take things one play at a time, and just execute. And things will take care of themselves.
Personal accomplishment for yourself as well. First catch, first touchdown as a Rider. How did that feel?
It feels great, man. Just, being on a new team and getting to contribute in any way I can. This is really my first game getting to play in the green and white, so I was just super excited to get the opportunity today and just keep playing.
Have fun.
Thank you.
Kate, over to you.
All right, Kenzie, back inside alongside Enoch Mwamba, Dave Naylor, Milt Stiegel, and my goodness, the Saskatchewan Roughriders just continue to roll at this point. As we talked about at the 3-minute warning there, it has been team money. Trevor Harris, 39 years young. It's like every game, he just impresses us a little bit more. He's already got 177 yards. He's got the 1 TD. He is rolling, Milt.
T-Money is rolling, and he's had some pretty good years in his career, but this year seems like he just found his sweet spot. And it's crazy to say because he's 39 years old, but you have quarterbacks in this league, not all of them, but you have some quarterbacks in this league who know how to make receivers, good receivers, great, and average receivers, good. And that's Trevor Harris. It was regardless who's in there, regardless who's hurt, they're going to be productive. And when you have a quarterback like that, your team can beat anyone. Trevor Harris is having a monster year. I think it's safe to say with him and Bo Levi Mitchell, these are the two hottest players, not only quarterback, but the hottest players in the league right now. You got to be happy for Trevor. He's been through a lot. There are a couple of teams, Dave, that you know this, who outcast him and didn't think he was good enough to play, and you look what he's doing right now. he's having a special year.
Yeah, this is a guy who waxed openly about retirement at the end of last year, and then, has really had a strong year, and it demonstrated this afternoon as well. And here's a couple of dynamics in Saskatchewan's offense that you can see that really come into play here. One is they lead the league in time of possession. And we saw that right off the bat where they set the tone in this game. A 10-play touchdown drive to open up the game, go up 7-0. They have a 9-play drive later in the game. You need to be very accurate to be able to engineer those kinds of drives. Trevor Harris has the highest completion percentage in the league going into this game. Yeah, the complementary part of this offense, though, you say time of possession, completion percentage, well, it must be a nickel and dime offense. No. Which offense leads the league in big plays? The Saskatchewan Roughriders. Yeah. Average yards per play? The Saskatchewan Roughriders. So if you want to play that time of possession game, you can do that. But we also saw the big strike to Dante Myers to help put them up to 17.
You know, it's wonderful, too. It seems like everything is slowed down for Trevor Harris, too. I mean, some of these plays, and I know Glenn mentioned it on the broadcast there, but that one touchdown pass that he had, hips, eyes went to the left, DB's got moving, boom, right up the middle. He has a touchdown strike. I mean, he is playing...
Kate breaking down the plays. Go ahead, Kate.
I wanted to do a libero. I actually want to go walk, right? I promise at some point I'm doing my own plays, right? You know what? I just spend so much time up here, and I learned so much from all of you. Let's talk about this defense, because we know going into this game you wanted to talk about this, and they are making McLeod Bethel-Thompson's life absolutely miserable right now. He's only 8 of 15. He's got 54 yards, but the Owls offense can't get anything going because this Riders defense has been so good.
No, absolutely. And you knew that defenses need to show up tonight, and the Saskatchewan Roughriders were the ones that struck first. And, there's not a lot of sacks happening, but they're making McLeod move out of the pocket. He's not comfortable at all. Look at this throw right here. He's got defensive linemen in his face. He can't step into throws. He's throwing deep, and still defenders being there, right there in position to break up the passes. And right here, the best position in football, middle linebacker, the play that he makes, it was amazing play right there. Yes, I'll say it. But Jameer Thurman did an amazing job, and I thought Darnell Sankey had a similar opportunity to make the play. 3 receivers to the same side and a curl route by number 3, and he just didn't have the eyes in the right place. But, again, Trevor Harris did a great job of looking him off.
Did you just look like...
Yes, I said it. Hold on. I said it.
You said middle linebacker is a bit... How many kids grow up saying, I want to be a middle linebacker?
I met a lot, Mel. You'd be surprised.
Nobody said that.
All right, anyone on social media who wants to write us in telling us that you want to be a middle linebacker, please do it now. Or a receiver. Everyone wants to be a quarterback or receiver.
That's what we want to do.
To wrap up here in Montreal, the clash of Grey Cup contender, and a nice play by Wesley Sutton, his 6th knockdown of the year. End zone touchdown! Welcome to the Riders. Tommy Neal finding Myers. Myers to the 20. Big shot from Harris. And is that intercepted? Thurman laid out for it.
Your Week 9 highlights. Thursday night action. Red Blacks hosting the Stampeders. PJ Walker making his first CFL start, down 13 in the 4th. This pass going to be picked off by McGee, returned all the way for the pick 6. One of Walker's 3 INTs on the night as the Red Blacks earn their 2nd win of the season, both coming against Calgary, 31-11, the final. To a little Friday night football we go. Bombers hosting the Argonauts. 2nd quarter action, Winnipeg up by 7. Willie Jefferson had a night. Strips Nick Arbuckle. Jay Pearson with the scoop and the score. Jefferson had 1 sack, 4 pass knockdowns. He was fantastic. Later in the quarter we go. Bombers up by 14 after returning a kickoff earlier in the game. Trey Vavel on the punt return. Breaks free, takes it all the way for his 2nd return of the game. If he would have had 3 returns, Dave Naylor would have got a tattoo. It didn't happen. He was great. Bombers, they were great as well, and they snapped their 3-game slide with the victory. The earlier game on Saturday, late in the 4th, Ticats down by 3. Bo Levi Mitchell going to find Tim White with 26-yard TD. Bo passing Doug Flutie for 9th all-time in career passing yards in this one. And then the Elks trying to respond late. Cody Fajardo finds Keon Julian Grant in the end zone, but he can't hang on.
Gotta make it.
Oh, it's a tough drop. The Ticats would hold on to win a nail-biter after this one. Tom Gazzola caught up with Bo.
Bo, 6 straight wins, a historic one. You even have a punt tonight. How do you describe the way you guys pulled that off?
Yeah, just doing whatever it takes to win, right? I know that sounds cliche, but, their record doesn't show who they are. It's a damn good football team. You know, Cody's playing his ass off. One of the probably most disrespected quarterbacks in the last couple of years that I know of. You know, he balled out. The entire team did. It was a hard-fought battle, man.
Where's your guys' confidence at right now with the way you guys are pulling these wins off?
I mean, I think we're just creating that feeling that no matter what, you know, we have a chance to win the game. We've got the guys to do it, offense, defense. You know, we lost some guys tonight on a short week. We got another short week coming up against BC, so we've got to be on our recovery and just be ready to go.
You passed Doug Flutie on the all-time yards list. What does that mean to you? He had a nice message for you earlier in the broadcast.
Man, I just, you know, Doug, you know it, man. I love you. I'll never forget, man. He walked into a play, and we were in Calgary. He walks in. Dave's up there describing a play. Without missing a beat, he calls out the entire read of the play, and Dave looks at him and goes, "That's why he's Doug Flutie." Love you, brother, man. It means a lot. Obviously, you know, as these things happen, you pass people. Just continue to make sure you look back on those guys' careers because we've had some amazing quarterbacks in this league.
Well said. Congrats, Bo.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Bo Levi Mitchell moving up the list, 41,705 career passing yards. As mentioned, passing Doug Flutie for 9th all time. Going back to that game for just a moment, and look, Bo and the Tiger Cats, they deserve all their flowers right now. 6 straight wins, they've been great. But for Cody Fajardo, this loss was not on him. Julian Grant at the end of the game just has to hang on to that football. Maybe we're talking about a different result, but just a very tough ending.
No, absolutely. I mean, going into that game, not a lot of people would have thought that it was going to be that close of a game, that exciting of a game, and you got to admit it. This team has completely changed. And Mill, I know you don't like these moral victories and the coulda, woulda, shouldas, but this team has completely changed since Cody Fajardo has stepped onto that field, and you can see it. The energy is different, and everyone is playing completely different now.
Well, they came in playing a team that's been the hottest team in the CFL, the hottest offense in the CFL, and they also thought their defense gave them a good presence. Like, you didn't see the deep passing game from Bo Levi Mitchell in this game. It was more underneath stuff. They were getting some pressure up. Nobody in Edmonton wants to hear it, but, I mean, that was a quality performance, and as you say, other than the drop in the end zone, that's a victory.
Moral victories, no quality.
I knew it. I just knew it. I just knew it.
You know, why did you do that?
Cody, but there's no moral victories.
What is Killen supposed to say to his guy?
Here we go again. I'm almost pregnant. Doesn't exist.
Oh, wow.
Hey, they didn't get the
Dwight Stiegel is the best for
Cody
the record.
played well. Played very well.
He did.
They didn't win the game.
You know why you got to do that?
I know.
You know what you're getting.
You guys are whack. You're with that group now, Dave.
See? I'm converted.
I am very sorry, CFL fans, because we have done this once already today, but I'm going to do it for a second time. As you can see, there is lightning in the area in Montreal. We are in a delay. Here is Dustin Nielsen and Glenn Suter.
Yeah, I guess I was jealous earlier on today. They had an opportunity. All right, welcome back to Montreal, where, yes, we are in a lightning delay going off just over our back right shoulder here. We're not too sure how long this is going to be at this moment, but there are still lightning strikes in the air. There might be one as we stand here and talk. You might see me jump and grab suits like this. So
that's okay. I'll catch you. You know, the day just got longer for the panel, but this, you know, when you have delays like this, probably 20 to 30 minutes is the guess at this point. The advantage goes to the team that's behind. Team that's behind wants to regroup, get on the tablets, make sure they get on the whiteboard, start re-scheming things and figuring out how they can come back. That's the Montreal Alouettes in this case. The time of possession in the first half was 20 minutes, 14 seconds for Saskatchewan, 9 minutes, 46 for Montreal. So it also will help them rest their defensive line. We talked about this in the first half. They only just 5 defensive linemen in Montreal, and a couple of them are just coming back, one from injury in Dylan Wynn, and of course Sean Lemon coming back after being out for over 400 days. So that'll help them rest up.
Okay, what about on the other side, though? If we look at it and say advantage maybe for the Alouettes here, how do the Riders overcome that?
Yeah, you got the lead. You want to keep it on that rhythm and keep moving and get right back out here and keep at it. So now they have to settle down. But, you know, again, they can do some self-scouting at halftime, take a look at the tablet as well, and figure out, okay, we got them on a double move here. What are we going to do out of that? And how are we going to continue to have this offense evolve. But right now, Trevor Harris is in complete control. And again, I'm already seeing some fatigue in that D-line in Montreal.
All right, so that is one of the things that we will keep tabs on here in Montreal as the field has been cleared as we settle in for a bit of a lightning delay. Let's send it back to Kate in the panel.
Dustin, never been happier. We were just thinking, we're actually trying to get the stats on it right now, if we've ever had back-to-back weather delays.
Do we get paid for overtime?
I'm volunteering. I don't know what you're doing here, but we're not. You know what? I'm going to ask you the same question, though, of when we came up in the Edmonton game, too, because that was such a back-and-forth battle, and it was actually tied when it went to a weather delay. I mean, this one is the complete opposite. You've got the Montreal Alouettes struggling, and you've got the Saskatchewan Roughriders absolutely rolling at this point. Who benefits from this? I mean, I think the defense obviously has to be helped a little bit, getting a little more rest, but overall, I mean, you got to think that this helps the Alouettes being able to regroup a little bit more. No?
I don't know. I don't. The way Trevor Harris is playing, I don't think it really matters right now. Offensively, Montreal has to come out and find a way to generate some points because you could have a 10-hour delay. Trevor Harris is in that zone, that sweet spot, as I spoke of earlier, so it really doesn't matter. You could just see his focus. You can see his facial expressions. Everything that he's going through right now just lets you know that there's nothing that's going to teeter him from going out there and having a great game and continue playing the way he's playing. So this is not benefiting Montreal at all because Trevor Harris is, as the young cats say, he's on one right now.
You know, I agree with you, Mel, but if I'm Montreal, I'm looking for anything that's going to disturb the rhythm of this game because the rhythm of this game right now is going completely Saskatchewan's way. Suits mentioned that time of possession. It's essentially 2 for 1. So, you know, whatever it's worth, anything that changes the schedule that makes this a weird night, I'm for it if I'm Montreal.
Agreed, Dave. And it's interesting when you get into halftime, coaches are screaming, they're yelling, they're talking about this, they're talking about that. There's never, ever enough time. Well, guess what? You got to get back and sit down. I wanted to finish my point on this particular play, but yes, the Montreal Alouettes got to figure out, hey, look, we came in with a game plan. We might have to switch things up because it is not working right now. And to your point, Mel, they have to generate points, and it's interesting to see, like, who is it going to come from, right? We thought it's going to be Hollins and his arrival on the roster right here. They're going to have to figure out how do we get him the ball deep down the field. I know they attempted him earlier in the game. They got to get back to him as well.
Enoch, we spoke about this before the game, too. I mean, we've been so impressed with the Montreal defense, too. And, look, we know they are dealing with injuries overall, but mainly their stars on the offensive side. We saw Marc-Antoine Ducroix in street clothes. I mean, that is certainly not a good look, too, on the sidelines. But overall, how shocked are you that they are struggling this much to start this game, or if the Riders' offense just this potent?
Yeah, shocked. I think both are equally true. This offense is hitting on all cylinders. They have a balanced attack. We know that. AJ Ouellette is a guy that you have to pay attention to, and then when Trevor plays this way, it's just hard to stop a defense like that. But also, yes, the Montreal defense is a team that typically, historically, they've done a really great job of figuring out who's the next guy, who's coming in, and who's going to pick up the slack. But for some reason, right now, they're not really figuring it out right now.
Yeah, I think a few weeks ago, we would have looked at this matchup and said, you know, this is going to be maybe a Grey Cup preview when you look at what Saskatchewan is and what Montreal. And when, you know, take any team, remove their starting quarterback, their number 1 and their number 2 receivers, you don't have the same team out there. So it's really hard to sort of get a measurement of where the Alouettes and the Roughriders stack up against one another. Saskatchewan obviously dominating this game, but, you know, right now they look like the best team in the league.
Coming into this game, Saskatchewan, their pass defense was the worst in the league, right?
Giving up like 330 yards a game. Some of that is game scripts because they're winning a lot. So
exactly. But if they can get to the point where they're playing like this and the way their offense is playing, it's going to be tough to beat them, any team. You know, they're playing consistently on offense, and now this defense is doing this. It's going to be tough. And as far as Montreal go, I know that defense is good, but there's going to be some games where the opposing offense is going to score some points on them. They're going to do well. So this offense has to find a way to come out, as I alluded to. They got to come out and score some points.
But you know what is happening? Special teams. Let's talk about Jose Maltos Diaz for a moment here. He's flexing. But you know what? If you're going to hit field goals like that, you deserve to flex because the record was 54, and then he broke it, and then he literally went above and beyond again in this game. So it's 58, 56, and it was 54. I mean, he was tremendous. Meanwhile, Mother Nature, she has not been tremendous today. Not at all. She is not in our good books whatsoever. We'll give you a weather update coming up next. Well, it is still a weather delay in Montreal. Montreal, but I have absolutely wonderful news. Kickoff set for 9:05 Eastern. Now at halftime, we heard from Bo Levi Mitchell after leading his Ticats to their 6th straight win. Let's take a look at how they got it done.
It is the first of a CFL on TSN doubleheader from the Alberta capital, and it is going to be a hot one for those on the field. Isaiah Wooden takes the opening kickoff, crosses the 30. He's got some room. He's got some space out in front of him. I'm not sure they can catch him from here. They do manage to turn him back. Great opening return for Isaiah Wooden inside the Edmonton 30-yard line. Saw how big a priority Kenny Lawler was for the BC Lions and allowed others to pay. This time it's Keandre Smith with the touchdown. He had a big game last week, and he follows it up early here. An extra lineman in motion, the handoff around the end to Dunbar. He's got some room, cuts it back inside. All your back leg has to do is be behind the line, which it was there, but different when you're aligned, I suppose. Now it brings up 1st and goal, Rankin again, and he scores, this time from 10 yards out, Justin Rankin, down the middle of Hamilton's defense. A rare 2nd and long for Hamilton here. Mitchell drops back the pass, has time, has to move around, avoids the sack, still on his feet. Let's see where he goes with it. It's Keandre Smith with a big gain inside the 5-yard line. They can't bring Mitchell down, and he makes them pay for 26 yards. But just the perfect pass by Mitchell in that situation. Mitchell stays in the game, hands off to Greg Bell, and he is into the end zone for a touchdown. Hamilton responds. 3 drives in this game, Lapo, all 3 ending in the end zone with touchdowns. For the quarterback to pull on a play like that, which has happened a lot this year, which has led to a lack of run attempts, which we'll get into in a minute. Meanwhile, 2nd and 9, Fajardo can't escape, and he is brought down. That is Reggie Stubblefield finishing off the sack. Big loss on the play, which will force Edmonton to punt.
Going to open up big windows. Nice throw to Arkell Smith.
This time the quick throw, left side, Stephen Dunbar again. Breaks a tackle, headed for the end zone. Dunbar knocked out of bounds by Stavros Konstantonis before he could cross the goal line. 25 yards to the 1-yard line. Edmonton knocking on the door.
This is good to get your crowd into the game here. High odds of touchdown here.
Snyder into the end zone. Touchdown, Edmonton. What a drive by the Elks. This time the fake to Bell. Ball rolls to his right, and the pass is knocked down. That is Noah Taylor, the defensive end with the knockdown. That's the first incompletion of the game. Edmonton with a couple of extra linemen into the game now to try to help protect Cody. This time he has an opening. This time it is Keon Julian Grant across the 40, across the 35. Big gain on the play. Edmonton in field goal range right now. This time the handoff to Leak. Cuts inside, has some room, cuts back again. Nice gain on 1st down by Javon Leak to the 17-yard line. Gain of 18. Snyder on to attempt the 3rd and 1. Does he get in? Touchdown, Edmonton. The Elks cap off another solid drive and take the lead with 2.5 minutes to go in the first half.
Automatic review by the replay center. The ball carrier knee was down prior to reaching the goal line. The ball will be placed at the 1-yard line. It will be 3rd down.
Already has his first career touchdown in this game. This time slides to the left. Nothing doing. Hamilton with the stop. Wow, what a turn of events here.
Don't allow Edmonton's offense a short field.
Ball looks to Keandre Smith in traffic, catches the ball, stays on his feet before being dropped for 19 yards at the 45-yard line. 56 seconds. 2nd and 5, Fajardo with the straight drop back, checks it down to Rankin as he fights for the 1st down, breaks some tackles, still on his feet. Wilburn trying to bring him down. Moxley trying to bring him down. Rankin still going inside the 10. No, make it to 13 before before finally being run out of bounds. This is now the 4th red zone opportunity for Edmonton. We know what happened in the last one when they got stopped down near the goal line. Fajardo drops back to pass. Has it over the receiver. It's Rankin. Touchdown! Edmonton. Rankin, this time again through the air. 13-yard touchdown pass, and Edmonton takes their first lead of the game. Very interesting. They're snapping it. This is not just a ploy. Mitchell in traffic, looking deep for Keandre Smith, and he's got it. With a defender all over him, Bo Levi Mitchell finds the open target for a huge gain down to the 10-yard line. 40 yards on that play.
How about that? It's 3rd and 7.
Bo Levi Mitchell dropping back, not much there. He escapes one tackle, rolls to his right, finds Tim White for a touchdown. Bo Levi Mitchell again keeps it alive. What a play as he stares down the Edmonton bench. 8 on the last drive. Let's see what he's got here. Fajardo scrambles to his right, looking downfield. Looks like he's going to keep this one himself. Got some blockers out in front, and Fajardo gets the first down. Race with the end-over-end kick to the 20, bounces back. Edmonton has it. There's a penalty flag on the play.
There is no infraction for no yards. The ball was first touched by Edmonton, number 24, who is the kicker. It will be first down.
Attempt for Vincent Blanchard, who is 9 of 11 on the season. The kick is up, and it is good with 8:39 to go. 2 plays earlier. Let's see what happens again in the same situation. Edmonton bringing 4. Bo moves up into the pocket, scrambles to his left, has Shamar Bridges on the sidelines. He gets knocked out of bounds, and they rule that incomplete. 2nd and 6. Fajardo sends his receivers to the left. Fajardo looking deep to Stephen Dunbar. Intercepted. Stavros Katsantonis intercepts it at his own 30. He's out across the 50. Looking to go left, and he goes down at the 50-yard line. Katsantonis with his 3rd interception of the season in the first half. 2nd and 10 for Mitchell. This time he checks it down to Johnny Augustine, who makes one man miss and picks up the first down. See where he goes. Edmonton showing blitz. They bring 5. Mitchell looks to Tim White, who is into the end zone. Touchdown. Ticats. They take the lead.
Tim White inside position. A zone blitz by the Elks. Keep giving those guys opportunities.
Hamilton showing blitz, but Rankin gets through it, makes one man miss, still on his feet. Still on his feet. Drives inside the 40-yard line. Very tough run for Justin Rankin. Fajardo takes the snap, 4-man pressure. Fajardo looks deep to Julian Grant. He's dropped it! No! Keon Julian Grant had 6 points in his hands. Fajardo can't believe it. A heartbreaking loss for the Edmonton Elks. They lost by 3 last week, played even better in this game, but they couldn't overcome a pair of missed opportunities for touchdowns, and they will fall to 1-6. Meanwhile, for Hamilton, this will be their 6th straight win. The last time that's happened was 2019.
So that was the first game of the doubleheader. The second game also went into a weather delay, but isn't this a glorious sight? Players heading back on the field. The Riders are up by 15. It should resume in approximately 10 minutes. Trevor Harris is feeling the same way all of us are right now. Thumbs up all around. And Trevor, he just wants to get back to playing, keeping his momentum because he was so good in that first half. 177 yards, 1 touchdown. T-Money. He deserves that nickname. We have the Riders up by 15. Enoch, what do you need to see in the second half of football?
Offensive production for the Montreal Alouettes. And if they want to stay in this game and they want to have a chance at this game, they have to score points. And Alexander Hollins, to me, me, is the guy that makes sense to try and feature a little bit more. You look at the stats right now, he was targeted one time, and it didn't work out, but he didn't ever went back to him. And again, yes, McLeod Bethel-Thompson wasn't really comfortable in that pocket, as we talked about earlier, but they have to find a way to get him the ball. And there's not a lot of film about him out there already. So it's his first game on this team. They have to feature him. They have to find a way to get him the ball.
Yeah, I think ultimately Montreal's got to get some rhythm on offense. Right now it's just 2 and out, 2 and out, 2 and out, and Saskatchewan's killing.
Yes, they have to get that rhythm. And I think to get that rhythm, they have to find a way to run the ball. They're only down 15 points. They have plenty of time. I don't think they have enough right now offensively just to drop back and try to throw the ball and get back in this game. They have to balance it out. And to balance it out, got to get that running game going. That will open it up for Macbeth to drop back and throw some long balls.
If I'm Saskatchewan, the thing I want to do after the break is keep doing what I'm doing on time of possession. Because when you got a 15-point lead, if you can continue to control 2/3 of the time of the possession, they're only leaving Montreal 10 minutes to get back into this game.
The Montreal Alouettes defense as well needs to step up. That's the bottom line. You look at what the Saskatchewan Roughriders were able to do. They were able to get an interception. And sometimes as a defense, yes, you're playing against the offense, but you want to outplay the opposing defense as well. And they are not living up to it right now. They're supposed to be one of the best defenses in the CFL. And right now, tonight, they're not doing that right now.
Let me throw one more thing in the recipe for Montreal that they need. They need to create a couple of turnovers. Disrupt the rhythm of this game.
Yeah. They got to try to rattle Trevor Harris. They got to get him off his spot. He's so comfortable right now. Even if you're not sacking him, just try to pressure him and hit him a little bit and rattle him, because if not, this could be a long second half.
Speaking of long broadcasting days, if you missed Dave Naylor's point for a solid 10 seconds there, it's because your battery went dead on your microphone, because all we've been doing is weather delays. But the great news is I'm being told we will be seeing football coming up. And you know what? This delay wasn't half as bad as the Edmonton delay. And you know what? It doesn't matter. You've had us on your TV all day long, and hopefully there's no more delays. Come on. What Mother Nature. Let's make sure we don't have one more, because this should be a fantastic second half of football. Montreal actually plays better in the second half. Hey. So we'll see what they do here. Here's Dustin Nielsen and Glenn Suter. I want to play.
Double pass.
Well, it's good to know that we had the better of the 2 delays. Yeah, it's nice to get confirmation.
We won the delays.
Yeah, welcome back to Percival Molson Stadium in Montreal, where the Alouettes do trail 18-3 as we get set for a little bit of a delayed third quarter. Just 80 yards of offense for Montreal in the first half. Here's a look at why we were delayed.
Yeah, it was getting close. The lightning strikes were close. Rain opened up, still raining, and had about a 9 or 10 minute warm up for the players, and we're going to get it started here right away. And I agree with the panel. Maybe it doesn't matter, and Trevor Harris will keep at it what he's doing, but what he did in the first half. But it's the team that is behind going into one of these delays has a chance to regroup and to rest, and that defensive line in Montreal needs a rest.
How important is this first drive of the half going to be? The Montreal Alouettes are down, they get the ball. I know there's a lot of time left, but how important is this first possession?
Well, yeah, just to grow a little confidence and get their offense going. I mean, getting a little traction, at least 2 or 3 first downs.
Better late than never. After a 25-minute delay, we are underway, and Lindsay on the return far sideline, just shy of the 35-yard line. And let's bring out McLeod Bethel-Thompson, trying to get something going here in the second half.
Yeah, he wasn't comfortable in the pocket, and he was checking it down. And he can make all the throws, but he needs time to do that. He needs to get his receiving core. And I like what Enoch said. I mean, Alexander Hollins could take the top off of defense. He's new to the team, so in this scheme, the Riders don't have a lot of tape on him.
The last time these two teams played here, Riders led 16-3. Davis Alexander took over, 17 straight points in a victory. Here's NBT on the run, picking his way ahead. That's almost a first down, as the footwork of number 4 does the trick.
Well, the quick screen game was snuffed out because just to the left of your screen, they wanted to go to like a slot back screen, bubble screen out there, and the Riders jumped it. Then Shane Ray keeps McLeod Bethel-Thompson from escaping to the right to find a receiver downfield, and he flushes him back up the middle. So to get 8 was a good job by McLeod Bethel-Thompson at 9.
Second and 1. Evans is going to throw. The play on it, and Sneed ended up taking him down.
Well, when you got a delay, you can go deep into the playbook, go down in there in the short yardage and say, hey, let's just try and fool him with one. But Marcus Sayles, the veteran of 7 years in the league, was not fooled. His assignment was to play man-to-man coverage on Tyler Sneed. He's right there, and in fact, he had best shot at it.
Would have been his second interception of the year. 3rd and 1. Evans just lunging ahead this time. And that'll be a first down for the Alouettes. So it was only second down. Might as well mix it up.
Yeah, it's not a huge risk. Take a shot. I mean, Caleb Evans with that kind of coverage on Tyler Sneed might have thought about it, but get the first down on 3rd anyway.
Well, they have faith in Evans. He threw that flea flicker last week to Sneed for more than 40. There's Hollins, targeted once, drew a big pass interference penalty. MBT on the run to his left, tosses it ahead, finds Sneed, and Sneed's got a first down as McLeod Bethel-Thompson on the run with a little bit of a shovel.
Well, he's been around a long time. I mean, McLeod Bethel-Thompson is in start 164 here. So he understands the urgency. He knows, as you mentioned out of the gate, how important this drive is. Get plus territory at the very least. Get Maltos out there if you have to. But score major even better.
Team leading 5th catch of the game for Sneed. 1st and 10 from the 50. And they'll hand it off this time. Decent pickup, Sean Thomas Erlington. There's a flag that came out late. Rambo involved with a rider on the far sideline. And an official finally clearing out 5 riders who were talking trash on that Montreal sideline.
Charleston Rambo has not been targeted in this game.
No Mac, no Philpott. That's a surprising stat with those 2 guys out.
We have offsetting misconduct penalties. 8 for Saskatchewan, 14 for Montreal.
Marcus Sayles, Charleston Rambo.
But you're right.
After the play, so it'll be second down.
With Tyson Philpott out, Austin Mack out, you would think that Charleston Rambo becomes a #1 target, and maybe even Jason Moss moves him around in the offense, tries to get him away from that wide out spot, maybe into the slot.
Maybe they'll look there here. 2nd and 6. 3 options out to the left. Riders are going to bring some pressure. Bethel-Thompson over the middle, drops it in there down, and the 25 bounces away. Picked up. Fields the other way for the Riders, and he's going to be taken down. That's a big one for Saskatchewan.
Is it a fumble or incomplete?
Here's a look. Sneed had it, lost it. We gave you one look at this prior to break. Here's another one. See what the ruling is here. Down to the field.
After automatic review by the replay center, the ruling on the field became an incomplete pass. It'll be 3rd down.
Yeah, the shot we showed you there was in slow motion, and that can distort the decision, but incomplete pass, and it's another long shot.
54 yards for Maltos Diaz. 58 last week, 56 earlier tonight. This one still deep, but makeable. Motos Diaz from 54 yards. That is, oh, got it! Does it again! The big
what a story.
leg nails it.
What a story.
His last 3 field goals have been 58, 56, and 54.
This is becoming routine for Motos Diaz. He's just, it's 55, 54, no problem. I'll just step into that. What happened to the double guns?
I was waiting for the guns.
The gun show. 2 tickets to the gun show. I would have bought 2 tickets. There was no, okay. It's becoming routine.
A 54-yard chip shot for Motos Diaz. Points on the board for Montreal. In their defense, join the party. AJLF straight ahead. Looks like he was limping a bit at the end of the first half. Okay there. Good pickup on first down.
Brought the fullback in, Albert Awachi. He plays the tight end spot. Get the big team up front. And big on big with a push and a good gain on first down.
Awachi now checks out of the game. Duncan Busby back in at receiver. Riders just 3 for 11 on second down conversions tonight. Alouettes protecting against the run. So Harris is going to throw. Myers again turns around, hauls it in. Great body control as Myers spins around and gets it.
Wanted that corner route, and when you see the play action and the motion, the motion and misdirection on this play. There's a play action inside going this way. There's misdirection with the receiver coming this way. That freezes and pulls up Anton Arcu, and he's got the one-on-one he wants on Burns.
112 yards on 4 catches for Dante Myers. Hopefully you have him in your fantasy lineup. Big night so far. AJ Ouellette again finds a hole, pushes through, takes it down inside the Montreal 25.
With the juggling, Jeffrey Canton-Arcu is getting a lot more playing time, so they're bringing in, he's at 6'4", 230. So you're looking at a big linebacker. It's going to be probably some more man-to-man looks where you try and get the defensive backs that are left locked up on the Saskatchewan receivers like they were on that last one to Lorenzo Burns from Dante Myers. Myers just won the route. And a great throw from Trevor Harris, but there's been a lot of juggling on that defense tonight.
Awachi back into the game at the bottom of the offensive line to the left of Harris. Wants to throw again. Gets it away down the field. Tommy nailed. Working on Kennedy. Couldn't get there in time. 3rd and 3 and a field goal attempt coming up for Brett Lawther.
Yeah, I think Tommy Neal just hesitated out of the break. He's coming down here, and as he goes to make that out cut on the break, does he just hesitate and take a peek? If he runs that speed cut and gets out there quick, he might have had a shot at that. Trevor Harris was throwing it to a spot. It looked like he was just a little bit slow out of that out cut.
Lawther good from 17 tonight. Just under 70% of the season coming in. This is a 32-yarder. He sneaks it in. Riders on the road on top 21-6. All of us at TSN would like to wish the legend Marv Levy an early happy 100th birthday. Tomorrow, the 2-time Grey Cup champion turns 100, a member of the Canadian Football Hall of Fame and the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. Marv is one of the great ambassadors for the game of football. Happy birthday, Marv. 100.
One of the GOATs. A couple Grey Cup banners for Coach Levy. Of course, all of those Super Bowl appearances, the Buffalo Bills.
Deflected, ends up in the hands of Sneed, finds a little bit of room, and he's got a first down. Sneed having himself a night in an offense that's been stuck in neutral.
Well, stuck in neutral and have not got past the Rider 46-yard line all game long.
Wow.
I mean, we talk about red zone production and when you get down inside the 20 and what that looks like. That ball was tipped, by the way, at the line of scrimmage. Sneed still comes up with it, and pretty good second effort to get the first down.
Tice in the game and running back to the left of McLeod Bethel-Thompson. Riders will send 4. Out in the flat, Speaker forced out of bounds as his third catch of the game. And we'll see if McLeod Bethel-Thompson, who looks like there's some more urgency there right now at this time of the game, he knows it's got to happen. Still just 87 yards through the air for Montreal's offense, though. Saskatchewan brings some pressure. MBT in trouble and taken down. Mike Rose gets there.
Mike Rose is on that outside. He's right here. He's going to work off the inside pass rush. 5-on-5 up front. Caleb Sanders takes the center, and Rose gets the one-on-one.
He was feeling a little bit left out because the other 3 starting defensive linemen each had 2 sacks last week. He did not have one. Got one there. It's a big one, too.
Of course, Justin Lawrence, center for Montreal, left in the first half, injured.
Will not return. Zima. Just got it away. He's hit as he tries to land, and a flag flies. McCray back into the end zone to corral this for the Riders.
That'll be a new set.
Massive kick, went 75 yards, but a number of Riders ended up closing in on the Alouettes punter, Joseph Zima.
Is it roughing the kicker?
Contacting the kicker. Saskatchewan number 21. It's a 10-yard penalty.
Well,
it'll remain third down.
It's not a first down if it's contacting. If it's roughing the kicker, it is automatic first. They were third and 10 plus, about 13 yards. So now it's going to be third down repeated, 3 yards to go. It looks like they're going to go for it. Contacting the kicker and roughing the kicker are 2 different things, and got to get that leg on the ground. If the leg's on the ground, it's not roughing.
Saskatchewan's defense has found a way to get the job done tonight. Can they do it right now? Got to find 3 yards if you're Montreal. MBT looks to his left, on the run, out to his right. Where's he going to go? Down! That's where he goes. Picked up and taken away. Sanders the other way for the Riders. Touchdown, Saskatchewan. The scoop and score after the sack of McLeod Bethel-Thompson. And the Riders blow it wide open.
Well, when you look at the score, you can, I guess, give the Coach Moss, the out on going for it on third down at midfield. There's the tackle by Shane Ray, and that ball comes out on the way down. Caleb Sanders scoops it. Now every turnover is automatically replayed. So they're doing that right now, and every score is also replayed automatically. So the question here is,
previous play is under review by the replay center.
Was McLeod Bethel-Thompson down, or did the ball come out before the shoulder pads hit the ground?
Montreal is also challenging for roughing the passer.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
A few things to discuss and sort out here in Montreal.
Well, the challenge for roughing the passer, take another look to see if Shane Ray was too high. I thought the target was partially blocked here, but the target for Ray with the shoulder pad is bang on. So I think that I'm not sure they're going to win the challenge on roughing the passer, but did it come out before he hit the ground?
Well, that's the thing. The roughing the passer, Ray didn't even really put his weight down on MBT after he hit him. He kind of looked like he sort of let him go right before he got to the turf here. Watch.
Yeah.
All right, they've taken a look at this. Let's get our official ruling.
After review by the command center, the runner was down with contact at the 46-yard line. Now Montreal is challenging for roughing the passer, and we're going to review that aspect of the play.
So say he was down by contact, not a fumble.
That weak ass shit.
All right, they will take a look at that now, and we'll see if that changes anything. Welcome back. While we were gone, Replay Center was looking at this. It's been challenged for roughing the passer. Is it, though? Let's find out.
Let's go. After review by the Replay Center, the ruling on the field stands. It'll be first down, Saskatchewan.
So no roughing the passer.
No touchdown.
No touchdown on the fumble and scoop and score. He was down by contact, but turnover on downs because he didn't get first down.
So yada, yada, yada. The Riders will have the ball on the Montreal 46. Let's play. Riders defense has been making plays. Can Montreal do the same? AJ left, big hole, turns it back upfield. Once again, here in the second half, he's been getting good yardage on first down.
Yeah, the numbers aren't jumping off the page, but he is making a difference in this game for the Riders, providing a little balance and allowing the big boys up front to go and run block.
Another second and very reasonable for Harris. Opens up a lot of options. Looks to throw. Gets it away. Finds Myers, having a huge game. There's a flag back by Trevor Harris, who hops up.
Boy, he took a hit to deliver this bender route. And didn't have a lot of room.
Illegal block, hands to the face. Montreal number 91. That penalty be declined. First down.
Adeyemi Berglund.
Yeah, Adeyemi Berglund right here is going to get his hands up in the face of Peyton Collins. And that's the penalty. And what a throw. Trevor Harris has to take the hit. He has to wait for this bender to open up, but he fits it into a tight window there because Darnell Sankey's cutting underneath, and Tyrese Beveret's right near that throw to Deontay Myers, who's having a night.
Huge game. 152 yards and 5 catches for Myers. AJ bounced off one tackle. Wynn, who originally had him, bounces back up, gets in there, and takes him down with Darnell Sankey.
Chance here for the Montreal defense to limit the damage if they can get the stop right here. And Mark Mueller, at this point, another major pretty much buries Montreal.
Hold them to 3, keep it within 18. Find a way to get your offense going. Riders attack the red zone again. 2nd and 8 for Harris. Looks to the end zone. Far corner, drops it in there for Keyshawn Johnson. Touchdown, Riders. Johnson hauls it in, his 3rd of the season as Harris strikes again.
Trevor Harris, and the accuracy is bang on. That keeps it away from the defender and Wesley Sutton. Foot in for Keyshawn Johnson. Just an outstanding throw and catch to place this ball. The ball placement right to that corner. And Keyshawn Johnson making the catch, keeping that toe in bounds.
Father, one more. The lead is 22 on the road in Montreal for the Riders. After the turnover on downs, 4 plays, 46 yards.
He's in.
Into the hands. Keyshawn Johnson, his big season continues.
How about the recognition from Trevor Harris? Here's his route. It's an outside route with a little double move off the inside route from the wide receiver. So Keyshawn Johnson's going to make a double move here, but the Alouettes go with 3-man pressure. Stop it here. Just 3-man pressure. Lots of 2 safeties over the top. So Trevor Harris does not want to try to throw it in this area. That's where it's least dangerous. Get it out there to the sideline where only my guy has a shot at it and not all those safeties and free players in the middle. He saw 3-man pressure. He knew he had the rest dropping, and he works the outside to Keyshawn Johnson where it's a safe throw. And what a great catch at the end of it.
Hey, man, shout out to kids. I know y'all at home watching. Eddie gonna always put on. My God, shout out to G-Code. Shout out to Big Fan back home, man. We out here in Montreal. Let's see y'all.
Big games for a few of the Riders tonight. Harris is 15 of 21, 247 yards, 2 touchdowns. Saskatchewan hanging one on Montreal so far tonight. A bobble by Lindsay. Picks it up. In trouble. Taken down. What a tackle. Jackson Ford flying down the field. Does his job.
Back up. Free safety. Flying down here. Little juggle. So Lindsay is now sort of finding his way, trying to get back to that. What looked like a wall return. And Jackson Ford just shoots the gap and gets him.
Quarterback change for Jason Moss and his Alouettes. Caleb Evans into the game, coming into this game, and he has attempted a pass tonight, but he had attempted just 4 passes recently this season. Starts here on his own 15. They'll hand it off. Sean Thomas, Arlington, short pickup. What do you think of the quarterback change?
Yeah, I mean, you know, got to find some traction somehow. And Caleb Evans has some experience. I mean, 2 years in Ottawa. This is his 3rd year in Montreal. Working with Jason Moss, a former quarterback. So I'm sure he's learned a lot and learned from McLeod Bethel Thompson, Davis Alexander. But this offense was not only struggling to get, like as I mentioned, they never got past the 46-yard line of the Riders all game long.
Evans looking for Hollins. There's a flag on the play. Last time they looked at Hollins, it was a pass interference. That just happened again.
Well, that's 2 targets and 2 first downs when attempting a throw in Alex Hollins.
Pass interference. Saskatchewan number 22. Spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
DeMarcus Fields a little early.
The first one was a go route and there was pass interference. This time it was a deep curl comeback, and you can see the hit from behind a little bit before the ball arrives.
Now Tice into the game and running back with Evans at the helm of the offense. He's going to toss it to Tice. Trying to cut it back. What a tackle. Ray had him immediately.
Yeah, Shane Ray's figuring it out. I mean, the guy in the Super Bowl, in the Grey Cup with Toronto, first-round NFL draft pick, and he is figuring out 2 sacks last week in that 8-sack performance against Edmonton, and that's understanding the angles, the offensive play call, and just cutting that play right off before it could get started.
Less than 70 yards allowed per game on the ground for this Riders defense. Near side, Speaker, he's got a lot of work to do. And they will wrap him up just outside the 35. Rivas on the tackle. And it'll be 3rd and long. Montreal forced to kick it away again.
Yeah, I think it was 21-6 when Jason Moss decided to go for it on 3rd and 3. And all of that crazy happened.
This time, McRae takes it just inside the 25. Had nowhere to go except straight up the sideline after a 50-yard kick. Now get ready for the WNBA Canada game, the first ever regular season match outside of the United States. Catch the Storm taking on the Dream on Friday, August 15th, 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 Pacific on TSN. Very cool.
Now, the Owls have come back from some pretty big deficits this year, but they did once last year, none as big as 22 points. But if they're going to even think about it with a quarter to go, they need a couple of turnovers from their defense.
Yards in this game, 304 for the Riders, 113 for Montreal. Time of possession is tightened up a bit, but Montreal hasn't been able to do anything with it. Harris looking for Johnson, incomplete over the middle. That'll bring up 2nd and 10 for Harris. Couple touchdowns in this game. One to Johnson, one to the newcomer, Tommy Neal. Defensive line having a hard time ruffling the feathers of Harris in this one. 2nd in the league in sacks. Can they get there this time? Not even close. Finds Johnson, first down. Out to the 50 where they'll wrap him up.
Arthur Hamlin is playing for Marc-Antoine Dequoy at safety now. When you just get a first chance to play at safety, you're going to back up a little bit. That's just natural. You feel like you don't want to give up anything behind you. But with the blitz coming and no middle linebacker and Darnell Sankey there, to have your safety as deep as he was, that opens up that inside bender route.
So Harris sees Hamlin way back.
Instantly knows the bender. Yeah, and because Sankey went on the blitz.
Final play, 3rd quarter. A.J. Alouette escaped one tackle. Hamlin there to help Kennedy to bring down A.J. Alouette. It has been all Riders, both sides of the ball, as they look to improve to 7-1 to start the season. In good shape right now. Dominant performance through 3 quarters in favor of the Roughriders, leading 28-6.
Big numbers on the left, not big numbers on the right. And time of possession kicking in now in the 4th quarter. And again, just to reiterate that Jason Moss went in this game with 5 defensive linemen in rotation. One of the guys in that was Dylan Wynn coming off injury. The other was Sean Lemon, who hasn't played in a long time. I know I've made this point a few times tonight, but what they've had to do in that 3rd quarter is send the blitz. That bender route to Keyshawn Johnson was an example of a blitz beater. And if you try to blitz a guy like Trevor Harris, he's going to make you pay. So, you know, it sort of dictates what you have to do. And I can guarantee you, Sean Lemon, as good a player as he is, and he's a very good one, he feels like he's running in sand right now.
Second and 7 to start the 4th quarter for the Riders. Montreal brings 5. Harris gets it away. And that is hauled in by Robustelli. His 5th catch of the ball game.
You know you're seeing it as a quarterback when every game is a different guy. You know, when you look at, you go back far enough, Sam Emilus had a big game early on. I think it was week 2.
Well, he had 100 yards last week before he left, too.
Exactly. Yeah. And we've seen Keyshawn Johnson step up and be the guy for Trevor. And it all depends on what the coverage he's seeing and the schemes that are coming at him defensively. But
biggest game of the year was Robustelli.
Yeah.
11 catches, almost 200 yards.
Yeah, Calgary.
And then Myers, obviously, who's been consistent, but has had some big games as well. Couch kicks it away. This is going to go end over end. Taken cleanly, short return. Tyjon Lindsay after a 34-yard kick.
So these are big reps for Caleb Evans. You know, Davis Alexander on the 6th game we mentioned off the top. And probably to be safe, I would guess Jason Moss is going to leave him there for the 6 games. So they're looking at the second half of the season, last third of the season, probably get him 100% healthy so they have him through that run. So Caleb Evans has a chance to maybe win the number 2 job. Put a couple scores on the board in the 4th quarter.
Alexander, of course, dealing with that hamstring injury. Don't want to rush it. Evans on the run to his right. We know he can do this. And he lunges ahead. Second and manageable for Montreal's offense.
He's actually started a couple of games against Saskatchewan and won them, 23 and 24.
Does he have a few tricks up his sleeve here?
Different teams against a different defense.
Evans over the middle, defended well by Revis. Speaker went and got it. And they are going to rule it incomplete.
You know, and when I say maybe win the number 2 job, I mean, McLeod Bethel-Thompson was brought in for that purpose. If anything happens to their starter and Davis Alexander, you got a veteran behind him that can make all the throws. And I'm not suggesting that he'd automatically change that.
Come on, let's
hierarchy.
go, big man.
However, it becomes an option if Caleb Evans can put together a couple of touchdown drives. Now, it's quickly becoming garbage time in that regard, so you have to keep that in mind as well.
Big kick. Zima taken just inside the 25 by McCray. That was a good burst before he's hammered out of bounds by Richards. Felt that one, didn't he? Riders rolling in Montreal. Well, it's been a good time for that group so far in this one. Riders offensively and defensively controlling this game thus far. Harris, 38 yards away from hitting 300. Back to A.J. Ouellette pushing ahead, and that is a first down carry. Takes it for almost 11.
And take a look at cover teams and Tyrell Richards, who's second on his team in special teams tackles, hustling down. Now you're going to get blocked. At some point, you got a guy that's trying to block you, get in your way because the returner's coming. Keep working, hustle over there, and then get him out of bounds.
First overall pick back in 2022.
Absolutely. It's about just over 30 games in the CFL and as many tackles on the special teams.
Got an injured Alouette on a knee. Sutton.
Oh boy, they're running at DBs.
This is already a game, if you're just joining us. Game time decision for Kabianento. He could not go. They had to shuffle things around. Then they lose Dacroix early in the game.
Yeah, there was a lot of shuffling. I mean, Arthur Hamlin went to the nickel. Robert Kennedy went to the halfback. Deontay Ruffin went to the corner. That's how they started before they even kicked it off because Ento couldn't go. Then Antoine Dequoy went down. Hamlin takes the safety spot. And they've been rotating Canton Arcou and different players into that nickel spot. But tough win because that's a cover position.
You see Scott Hutter, 43, looming in the background because he was third on that depth chart behind Dequoy.
Yeah.
And Hamlin to start this game, and now he finds himself in it. We'll bring in Hutter.
At least for 3 plays.
Yeah, to play safety for now and then move Hamlin back down. Nice run from A.J. Lane. That was his best of the night. Went for 11 yards. Now they'll hand it off again. Mario Anderson near sideline. What a burst from Anderson. And he was taken out of bounds at the 30. Had an excellent training camp. Won a job on this team. And
fresh legs.
This is why right here.
Fresh legs. Bounce outside. Fresh legs up the field. And then bounce. These guys have all been in a game all night. He's got those legs pumping.
That's not fair.
That's not right.
24-year-old out of Memphis. Looked like he was going to be involved. Then they signed Kadeem Carey. Carey unfortunately injured, so another opportunity for Anderson to give the Alouettes some breathers here and there.
Now I say fresh legs. He'd play on some teams as well.
Give it to him again, and he'll take it down inside the 25.
Haven't talked a lot about Sean Lemon in this game because Trevor Harris has had his way with his defense and he hasn't really disrupted that. And again, like, he would have heavy legs right now after missing that much time with game action. You can train all you want, and they all do. But you come time to being in game shape, that's a different baby, and it takes a while. That's why the preseason's important. Get a few quarters in.
Haven't played in over 400 days.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Take a little while to ramp back up here. Harris down the field. A little bit in front of Duncan Busby. That'll be 3rd and 5. Brett Lawther time.
So 102 career sacks in 152 games for Sean Lemon. 30 forced fumbles with that big right arm coming around usually when it's quarterbacks are right-handed, and he's coming around the edge and knocking it out of their hands. He's definitely going to help this team in the pass rushing department as the season goes on, but it'll take him a while to get his legs under him.
32-yarder, Lawther straight away. Puts it home. The lead is 25 in Montreal.
We played the great cup right here. Raise your hand. Uh-oh, looking close. Yeah. There you go.
Four more on Micah Johnson. Gentle giant. Let's send it back down to Kenzie.
Yes, so when Micah Johnson is not reading up on his opponent's offensive schemes, you can find the 6-foot to 278-pound defensive lineman reading stories to young kids in the Regina region. As part of the Riders Foundation, the Riders Reading Program offers students an opportunity from kindergarten grade 5, a chance to have a rider come in and read them a story. There's about 8 guys that took part in it this year, Johnson being one of them, picked in Brett Lawther or others. And when I asked Micah Johnson this week about being involved, he said it's a lot of fun to visit smaller communities in the province, and he's not afraid to use some playful voices to keep it fun when reading to the kids.
Making memories forever.
I tell you what, Micah Johnson, like, look up, way up for those little kids in kindergarten when he walks in and his arm is bigger than them.
MBT back in at quarterback here. He goes back to his favorite target as Snead hauls it in.
And you know, when you just think about why the Rider fans, it's generational. And their tickets, they get them when they're young. They're kindergarten kids. And if you've met Micah Johnson, had him reading you a story with voices, I mean, that will last forever, and you'll want to see a game. Good on him. And he is still not just denting the pocket. Micah Johnson is destroying the pocket at 37 years old. He had those 2 sacks last week, constantly taking the double team, which defensive tackles don't get enough credit for, because when he's doing that, the defensive ends get one-on-ones. And that's all game long. That's 35, 45 plays.
And he's been doing it for almost a decade and a half, which is incredible. Bevel Thompson down the field. Should have been picked. That was just sitting there for Lacombo. I'm not sure he'll get an easier one than that.
Well, just think about this, though. So you got double teamed up there. We just showed you the replay. A couple offensive linemen. You got double teamed with the kindergartens coming in. Here they come. And just get a hug, and that's a gentle giant right there with those kids. A memory that they will never, ever forget. And they now have a favorite player who's easy to find, because he's usually in the offensive backfield messing around with the court, like making it tough on the quarterbacks.
Just inside his own 50, Zima. Drops one inside the 10. McCray tripped up on the return after a 43-yard kick. Here's another look at this one. Lacombo still doesn't have one this year. Wants that one back. Push-up time. Well, our next CFL on TSN action will come your way on Thursday from Hamilton, where Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, NBA champion, MVP, will be honored in his hometown at that game. That's got to be cool, going back to your hometown, accomplishing everything you can accomplish in your sport, get the key to the city, have a day. Yeah. Back to AJ. Trevor Harris remains in the game for now. You think we'll probably see Jake Mayer a little bit later on?
I would have thought maybe this series, but if they're going to run the ball every play, then. But yikes, with his completion percentage, what it was coming in, and his 10-game streak well over 70, he's dropped down.
He's at 68 right now.
Oh, boy.
Is this guy struggling or what? See what he does here. Harris, deep shot, incomplete, flag on the play.
Yep.
Looking for Robustelli, working against Deontay Ruffin, and there was contact as he worked his way down the field.
Yeah, it kind of stopped.
Pass interference.
Yep.
Montreal number 22. Spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Yeah, that was right in front of us. Deontay Ruffin basically just cut him off, like stopped him in his stride with the ball in the air.
That'll move things up to the 35. The Riders on the verge of going to 4-0 on the road this season. Back to Alouette again. Cut it back. Found himself a hole. Loses his lid. Thrown to the turf.
The difference between confidence and conviction. That's the message from Coach Mace. When you talk to the players, they are saying almost word for word the message from Coach Mace. And you know, I hadn't really heard it put that way before, but conviction to the process, conviction to what you're doing, the want-to factor out there, if you want to say it that way. is different than confidence. Confidence can wane. You have to sometimes fight self-doubt.
Aaron Anderson back into the game. Harris moves it. Duncan Busby took a big hit. Ball came out, picked up by Keyshawn Johnson. First catch of the game for Duncan Busby.
I'm guessing that's getting Trevor Harris closer, over 300 yards passing. Just shy of that now, with 25 yards to go. And his completion percentage at around 69.
Anderson, the running back. Big bodies on the line, lots of them. They'll give it to Anderson. What a burst, finds a hole, takes it down inside the 40. And when he's got looks tonight, he's looked good.
You know, the Alouettes love to have their D linemen line up like this and have a big gap that looks like it's open and an easy lane to run through, and then they close it immediately. But I think they're just so tired. They're catching blocks. Stop it there, guys. Well, just to the left of your screen there was a D lineman on a roller coaster going backwards.
They did not close that hole immediately that time.
No, they did not.
That opened up.
Can't get to it. And that's one of the reasons that this is the #1 ranked defense coming into this game tonight, was that they show you so many different looks, like D linemen dropping and show blitzes and open gaps that they close immediately. And even makes veterans confused at times.
Anderson again. This time they'll stuff him after a couple of yards. Richards in the game on defense now, makes the tackle there. Another impressive game from the Riders, though. 6-1 coming in and not coming out to Montreal. And I understand, no Davis Alexander and all that, but to come out here and win in this fashion probably sends some shivers through other teams with Grey Cup aspirations across the league. Probably changes the Grey Cup odds next week, I would think, as well. Coming in over at FanDuel, the Alouettes were the Grey Cup favorite. Riders second on that list. Probably not anymore. Duncan Busby. Short
70%.
Gets Harris to 70. Last we see of him?
I would think so.
Probably. All right, let's take a look at the Week 10 already schedule. Lions, Ticats. Entertaining last time those two teams played. Edmonton will take on the Alouettes. Red Blacks and Argos in a pretty important game now after that Ottawa win. And then back at the home of the Stampede Bowl for the two Stampede Bowl competitors, Bombers, Stamps, to wrap the week on Saturday nights. Week 10 suits.
Vernon Adams probably back for Calgary for that game.
Sets up to be a good one, doesn't it? Lother, 3 more. Off the upright, doink. Maybe the only thing that hasn't gone right for the Riders tonight.
Well, and it's not nothing. I mean, it's nothing tonight. It doesn't matter tonight on the final score. But this has been a concern for a lot of people in Saskatchewan. You know, and they're wondering about just the demons that he might be fighting mentally, because even though he hit a 51-yarder versus Edmonton last week, he missed a 47-yarder. Coming in, he was at under 70%.
Tice, wide open, heavy collision, has the first down for Montreal.
But his quarterback is putting points on the board, and if you're up 31-6, takes a little pressure off the kicker. And Trevor Harris is getting her done. I mean, And I thought Dave Naylor made a good point in the break when we were through the lightning delay that, you know, when you see high completion percentage, you think check down Charlie. But that's not what Trevor Harris is, and that's not what he's been this year. In fact, the Saskatchewan Roughriders coming into this game tonight led the league in explosives in the 30-plus throw and catch category. So they are pushing the ball. We've seen it a couple of times tonight. Touchdown throws, deep throws, double moves.
70.3% tonight. The 11 in a row. See us through the catch.
And my favorite part about the panel in the break was when Kate broke down the progressions of Trevor Harris, because I loved it. I thought she was bang on. She was looking at he was looking off the defense, and she explained it. Took a little ribbing from the guys, but I thought it was great, Kate. Nice job.
Riders to a bye after this in a really juicy spot at 7-1. MVP pump fake, deep shot. Oh, Macombo was there again, looking for his first of the year. Milligan was there. Look at the smile on Lacombo's face. Just not meant to be tonight. Turnover on downs.
First ever interception was versus BC in the West Final. But a couple of chances to get on the stat sheet. The interception department.
Not a single target for Rambo tonight.
Yeah.
And just one for about two for Hollins.
That were
both led to pass interference.
Yeah. That's it for Trevor Harris.
And so it will be 11 straight games with 70% or more, extending his CFL record. Tommy Stevens in. Run this ball into the ground here to wrap this one. Spins and gets a couple of yards. What's the hype train going to be like in Regina with the Riders going into a bye at 7-1?
Well,
I can't imagine.
Well, this guy's done a nice job, and you take a look at 7-1 to start the season. You've got a bye coming up now to sort of get some rest and maybe even get a Sam Emilus back into your lineup. And to answer your question about the fandom, it'll be twofold. It'll be a total excitement for an entire province and about 90%, and then there'll be 10 that'll say, wait a minute, we got to be better on, you know, the toss sweep, or our kicker's a concern, or there'll be something.
So they're just like every other sport fan base of all time.
Exactly. Exactly.
Hey, they're not perfect. They've got one loss.
Yeah, against Calgary.
But they looked good tonight. Here's Lothar right back out there again. He can get back to one that he just missed.
Well, these are important kicks for him. And for that fan base you've been talking about.
48-yarder, that'll be a silencer.
There you go.
For Saskatchewan fans. Hey, Lothar puts it home from 48. Long on the year is 51. Some green in the building, not surprisingly, tonight here in Montreal.
Yeah, see, almost every teammate as he went over there and coach. It's good. That's good. You're good. You're good.
End the game on a high note.
Yeah,
right?
you're good.
That's what you want to do. What about Jason Moss coming off this one?
Yeah, you know,
they get Edmonton here.
Edmonton coming in
next week,
who played a heck of a football game today. Honestly, I watched a good part of that before we got here to the booth. And
they lost to the Ticats, who now after this loss stand alone atop the East.
Right, but they had to earn it and went right down to the wire. Cody Fajardo had a great game.
Oh, and Cody Fajardo coming back.
Yep.
To Montreal. if you're looking for storylines for that one.
Didn't quite get the come-from-behind win done, and another big game for Bo Levi Mitchell. Front-runner MOP in the East, and I think we were watching tonight the front-runner in the MOP department in the West Division. And I'll put Vernon Adams in there.
I thought you were going to say Brett Lawther. Trevor Harris. I mean, VA definitely making it. I mean, Harris's numbers have been better than Vernon Adams so far, though.
Yeah, no, I mean, to me, it's right now it's front Trevor and Bo, but Vernon's in the conversation.
You know, that's great for quarterbacks who might just be trying to break in the league at 29, 30. When you see Harris and Bo Levi battling for a MOP at this stage of their career.
And Bo Levi passing Doug Flutie and getting in the top 10. Nice to see Doug's message to Bo and the mutual respect between those two guys in the post-game interview with Bo.
Tough night from McLeod Bethel-Thompson, but hey, he might have a little bit of an axe to grind or something to prove against Edmonton next week as well. Maybe a little added motivation. Been a dominant performance start to finish. These are the two teams who led the league in a time of possession so far this year. Sask almost at 37 minutes.
Yeah, just they were the #1 team anyway, but they just blew it open with an extra 5 minutes. That's a lot. I mean, at one point, I think at halftime, it was 2-1. I mean,
just 165 yards of offense in this game for the Alouettes.
Yep, that's not going to get it done.
About 200 less than they usually average. Been absolutely stymied by the Riders defense tonight.
Best front four in the league? That's a question. Saskatchewan, best front four in the league?
They allow less than 70 yards a game against the run and lead the league in sacks.
There you go.
If you're looking at two pretty significant categories, I think they check a couple of boxes on that one. The Alouettes take one on the chin tonight at home, and the Riders go to 7-1.
Trevor Harris completes 70% of his passes again. That's 11 straight games. He's maybe playing his best football, and that's saying something at 37.
The Saskatchewan Roughriders remain perfect against the East. They go to 4-0. The Riders remain perfect on the road. They go to 4-0. Trevor Harris, almost 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, and the defense dominant all night long. As convincing a victory as you will see. Riders 34, Alouettes 6. Good night from Montreal.